This is just the surrounding of where we are and where we're located in meeting this morning in the land of the Gimawa Yidinji people. And again, it's a great privilege to have the WOW meeting here on Yidinji country.
Leadership is collective and it's collaborative. No one makes change alone. That's how our people have maintained this country, this continent, through the collective transference of knowledge over generations and generations, over millennia, to look after our countries.
The caring work is done by women, so whether it's nurses and midwives, teachers, childcare workers, aged care workers. And aged care is absolutely the poster child for undervaluing of women's work. I mean, it is just a disgrace what happens in that sector. And indeed, the Royal Commission interim report had the title of neglect. And it's not only neglect of the people who are in aged care, but the people who work in aged care. And it fundamentally goes to the undervaluing of the work that women do.
There will always be a need to move forward. I can't spend my life looking back and saying, oh, wasn't it great 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? It's, well, how great is it going to be next year or the year after that? And keeping that enthusiasm, keeping that excitement and keeping that passion is really, really important to me as I move forward with my life and my career.
Shower your heavenly teardrops. Rain your love down on me. Oh, heavenly teardrops. Rain your love on me. Shower your heavenly teardrops. Rain your love down on me. Whoa, you brought me joy and happiness. With you in my life, I'm so blessed, so blessed. I give my heart to you. And my mind. Oh, thank you for coming and bringing me to your light. Heavenly teardrop. Rain your love on me. Shower your heavenly teardrop. Rain your love down on me. Whoa, heavenly teardrop.
I was a smart woman. I went to university and my parents were proud of me. So when you're sitting there applying for bond loans and Centrelink money, you have no access to your bank accounts because your husband's locked them out. Going for the job interview was pretty heart-wrenching, and I thought confidence was something that I already built. So I thought it was bricks and mortar. I got to that point, but it wasn't. It was smoke and mirrors. It's just gone. So I had to, I found, ended up having $50. I went and got the outfit and I wore that every day to my first week of work, and I felt powerful because I'd walked away and I had everything.
I've got 3 degrees from university. I've worked in high-level sector, both in governments, locally, nationally and internationally, in which, for me, in Australia, you, regardless of the degrees you have or the areas of work that you've worked in, you are still put in a box. This is the challenge we face today as Indigenous women or women of colour.
This is a beautiful song in the spirit of this incredible festival. This is called Empowerment. Come on. We started. Keep it going. Here we go. Empowerment. Everybody. Yes, you're doing it. You're not spilling it. Woo! Here we go. Empowerment. Woo! Well done.
What WOW does, I think it brings together the really unique elements, characteristics of each region. Yes. So for Cairns, surfaces it, gives it exposure, and then takes it to the world.
But it was the strength that I gained from knowing about the fight of my ancestors and those who have gone before me, who are very passionate about First Nations people succeeding. That is what drove me to and keeps me going every day.
Just create opportunities and give kids a chance to muck around on a guitar even and just escape their world for a second. You know, because I really find that writing songs and music really takes me away from reality, which is awesome sometimes, you know, and using it as an outlet really did keep me out of trouble.
WOW has been in Charleville, Longreach, and now we're in Cairns. What is the value of this event travelling to these regional places?
Look, I think it's immeasurable. You can see the energy and the excitement of the people here. You can hear it, you can see it, it's palpable. And I think the opportunity when that happens, you can't bottle it, you can't measure it, you can't pay for it. It's just one of those fantastic events that actually stimulates a community. I think the women have to be really congratulated for the energy that they're putting into it.
Life's too short for uncomfortable shoes and bad coffee. We've exhausted our resources, only then we say sorry. I rely on the goodness of God, a blessing us his eternal Alfie. He never looks back and says, daughter, you're still worthy. My mouth says I'm okay, my fingers text I'm fine. My heart's still broken, still spiritually inclined. Moved into situations nobody taught me. I go with the spirit that's before me. Still enough. Unraveled in confusion, still enough. Healed through our pains, we're enough. Because of his mercies, we're enough. Still enough. Unraveled in confusion, still enough.
Australia has one of the most gender segregated workforces in the world. There's a very strict definition about what's men's work and what's women's work. And men get these sort of industrial jobs and women do sales and service and clerical, and it hasn't changed in 200 years.
3% is not a lot of money for a big company to spend on a woman-owned business. The difference, though, that makes to businesses like mine and many others in the room is huge. If we weren't the beneficiary of this policy, my business would not have survived COVID. I can't be any more honest than that. So it was the contracts that we have been awarded, thanks to being a certified woman-owned business, that kept us going through a global pandemic. So my business moves freight, air freight, sea freight, land freight, but the borders closed. There was no air freight, so 50% of our business vanished in a week.
I'm a Torres Strait Islander woman. Men are the head of the home. That's a hard thing to swallow when most of the time the men in my life are perpetrators. But you still have to hold a cultural respect for those men. So we have to change the conversation.
So women of the world, say less. This is what we're here to do, to help bring up the next generation, to help them be inspired and to help share their inspirations to the rest of the world. Art is not dying, though we've been through some crazy times the last 2 years. We are very much alive, and as women, we're here to help encourage and inspire each other and support each other in sharing our art and being able to juggle all the many things we do, as well as what we love and practice, and sharing those stories with the rest of the world. So that's what we're here for, and that's what I love that WOW does. So.
Well, are we urbanists? And I finished my day yesterday thinking that perhaps it's got nothing to do with built form, it has to be people. So am I a peopleist now? A humanist? I'm not sure, I'm still working on it. But that's the point, isn't it? It's Fran, you said it, you've got to come back to the people who are using the place.
One of those changes that has come in is around architect registration and national competency standards. So there's a section that relates to Indigenous competency. So this comes back to what it is to design with country in mind, what it is to design with some knowledge of engagement process.
There are currently 27,000 people employed in the professional services sector in this region. 16,000 of those are women. 60% of our professional services are women. So we're actually starting to see a feminisation of a lot of these professions, and I suspect that that's across a lot of regional Australia. Interestingly, when you look at managers in the region, there are 16,000 managers in the region, only 6,000 are women. So it doesn't take much to do the math. We still have a long ways to go when it comes to trying to create that parity.
First and foremost thing for me is these little developing artists. You know, they get to see throughout this weekend the wonderful achievements of women. And so this is who they're going to look up to. You know, I think that especially our young Indigenous women, like they are going to be looking around and they're going to be just blown away by the power and by the beauty of the women that are here over the weekend.
The big hotel was